would have been the true worship or the true design of worship of God for us for today. But I was told to remind us so that we will have it in record, as in bringing back the records, so that it is stable in your hearts and in your consciousness. That is why we are here tonight. Let us pray. Àṣìṣe fún ìwé Olúwa fi lè wá pẹ̀lú wa.
Àṣìṣe fún ìjọ Jehovah. Ká sì rántí ọ̀run mímọ́. Ká ṣiṣẹ́ fún ìwẹ̀ lọ́wọ́ ẹ̀mí wa. Ká sì rántí lélá lókè ọ̀run. Ká ṣiṣẹ́ fún ìwẹ̀ lọ́wọ́ ẹ̀mí wa. Ká sì rántí lélá lókè ọ̀run. Olúwa jọ̀wọ́ sọ̀kalẹ̀ sáàrin wa, ká wá fi lẹ́ni yìí pẹ̀lú wọn. Michael bí wọ́n kò lọ wá lọ́wọ́, kúrò nínú ìdánwò ayé. Káwa fi lè ṣẹ́gun ẹ̀mí èṣù. Ká ṣiṣẹ́ pẹ̀lú ìfẹ́ mímọ́. Káwa fi lè ṣẹ́gun ẹ̀mí èṣù. Ká ṣiṣẹ́ pẹ̀lú ìfẹ́ mímọ́. Asán ní fènìyàn láti fọkàn fún ìṣúná ayé tí yóò lọ. Ó yẹ ká wá péjọ ká ṣiṣẹ́ iṣẹ́ tí Kristi rán wa. Èyí ni yóò mú wa gbàdé ògo tí Bàbá ṣèlérí rẹ̀ fún wa. Èyí ni yóò mú wa gbàdé ògo tí Bàbá ṣèlérí rẹ̀ fún wa.
Jehovah mímọ́, Jésù Kristi mímọ́, Holy Mighty mímọ́, Ọlọ́run ìrántí olódodo, lónìí a dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ rẹ nítorí ìpinnu àti ètò rẹ ò yí padà, àti nítorí oore ọ̀fẹ́ ìrìn àjò ìjọmọ́ tó gbé wá sáyé fún ìgbàlá ọkàn gbogbo ènìyàn. Ọba rere, a dúpẹ́ gba ọpẹ́ wa.
Lórúkọ Jésù Kristi.
Nínú ìṣísẹ̀ àti ìgbésẹ̀ tí ọmọ rẹ fi sílẹ̀ fún wa, gẹ́gẹ́ bí o ti sọ ní àkókò ìrántí yìí, pé ká mú ara wa wá sí ìrántí àpéjọpọ̀ lábẹ́ orí ọ̀fẹ́ rẹ ṣí wa létí.
Àmín lórúkọ Jésù Kristi.
Ṣí wa lójú.
Àmín lórúkọ Jésù Kristi.
Ṣí wa ní iyè.
Àmín lórúkọ Jésù Kristi.
Kí èyí ta ó sọ ta ó gbọ́ kó tí ọ̀dọ̀ ẹ là wá.
Àmín lórúkọ Jésù Kristi.
Kí èrè àjíǹde kó lè jẹ fún gbogbo wa.
Àmín lórúkọ Jésù.
Fàṣẹ sí
Àmín.
lórúkọ Jésù Kristi lọ.
Àmín.
Àdúrà tí Olúwa.
Bàbá wa ti ń bẹ ní ọ̀run, dábọ̀ fún ọkọ rẹ̀, kí ìjọba rẹ̀ dé, bẹ́ẹ̀ tí ẹ̀ka ṣe láyé, ní wọ́n ti ṣe náà, fún wa lójú olúwa lónìí, bẹ́ẹ̀ ṣíwájú wa, kí a sì dá ìjà wa tó ṣe wa. Bàbá wa ti ń bẹ, máa lọ sí, torí ìjọba ní tirẹ̀, agbára ní tirẹ̀, ìlú ní tirẹ̀, sí àìláì.
Ní
Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah.
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 This section is important and imperative at this season. Because it was laid down and given to us by the true father and the founder of Celestial Church of Christ, Papa Reverend Samuel Joseph Oshoffa. In his last Good Friday service with us at the National Headquarters, Makoko, as we prayed this evening, it was brought that remind them. Because I was trying to look for a way to either go to Apino where he instituted it, light candles there, and come back home for a memorial. But he called for a remembrance. Hence, this sitting together. In the last Good Friday service in April, on April 5 or 6, 1985, Papa was to preach, and he gave, after the usual greetings, Eka Bosa, Ekisholua, he was making jest. Baba Defeso did the announcement. We greeted. And then the Papa said, Motikweto. Our Defeso said, he still insisted, Ekpefua, Ekpedivailo. During the sermon, Papa came on board and said, those who sent me, the one that sent me instructed that I should tell you, by next year I would not be around with you, but I should give you these 10 steps. In his language, he said, Ibese Mewa. 10 steps that we should all follow and continue in while we wait on the Lord. The 10 steps were highlighted. I will make an highlight here. And we will make an evaluation of this time in the 10 steps. He said, number 1 is baptism. I won't forget because he quoted Moses and the Israelites. 1 Corinthians chapter 10. From verse 1 to 3.
Now,
2 and 3 precisely.
And were all baptized unto Moses.
They were baptized unto Moses
In the cloud.
in the cloud,
In the sea.
in the sea.
And did all eat the same spiritual.
They ate the same spiritual food,
And did all drink the same.
drinking the same spiritual water.
For they drank of that spiritual rock that followed them.
Yes.
And that rock was Christ.
I remember they said, being baptized into Moses, every member of this church is baptized into him that was sent. I remember. We were quiz delegates. We would appear in every service. We make our judging. Our leader then, Uncle Jide, will make our jottings because we will rehearse for quiz. That was April. Our quiz was May, the last Saturday of May. And you see, it was our usual practice that every occasion where you'd have the gathering of Celestians and especially you have Papa Oshoffa, Babada appearing in. There are unique information that only them can give. So we are quick to be at occasions like that. I remembered some things. He said number 2, anointments. He quoted Leviticus chapter 8. When God instructed that Moses should sanctify Aaron and his children. From verse 5.
And Moses said unto the congregation.
From verse 1, sorry.
And the Lord spake unto Moses.
The Lord spake to Moses,
saying, Take Aaron and his son.
Yes.
With him and the garment.
Yes.
And the anointing oil.
Yeah.
And a bullock for the sin offering.
Mm-hmm.
And 2 rams. And a basket of unleavened bread.
Yes.
And gather thou all the congregation together.
Yes.
Unto the door of the tabernacle.
Yes.
Of the congregation.
Uh-huh.
And Moses did as the Lord commanded him.
Yes.
And the assembly was gathered together.
Yes.
Unto the door of the tabernacle.
Mm-hmm.
Of the congregation.
Mm-hmm.
And Moses said unto the congregation.
Moses said to the
This
congregation,
is the thing which the Lord commanded to
this
be done.
is what the Lord commanded to be done.
And Moses brought Aaron
And he
his son.
did that thing for Aaron. He said, I remember he said, don't you think he formulated anything? That was an instruction of God to him. On that day, he mentioned again the normal worship by bowing down. That is the number 3. This was a unique day because even in the course of the sermon, he was doing some demonstrations. That was when he told us, when you bow down, the tip of your nose must get to the ground. He said bowing down is not about your forehead, but to the tip of your nose. I remember he said, dojú bolẹ̀. And he said, ẹsẹ̀ méjì dojú bolẹ̀. He demonstrated it and he showed us your 2 palms on the ground, your elbow side on the ground, your 2 knees on the ground, the face of your feet on the ground, and your forehead and the tip of your nose, even almost to the tip of you as you talk on the sand. Even the tip of, when you say holy, holy, the tip of your lips will take sand. He said, but the tip of your nose and your forehead must be on the ground. The fourth one, he said, the 7 hourly prayers. That was when he said, normally we jingle bell and we pray. He said, when you pray, that your prayer is for you. You are not giving it to God. He said, in the 7 times, I remember I quote Psalm 119. He said 7 times in a day. Is that verse 170? What was that? 162 or 167?
I rejoice at your word.
Yeah, verse what?
152.
No. 7 times a day.
154. 7 times.
164.
7 times.
7 times a day.
Do I praise thee?
Would I praise you?
Because of thy righteousness.
He said you will do that in worshiping him. This time, when he said worshiping him, he now said we would at each hourly time we'll be saying, oh Lord, Bashogbetu, justice, late now, of blessed memory. I remember he told me upstairs here. He said he counted, he said that size in Oshoffa. Papa said no. The difference between Oshoffa and that one is you would not put Irajama in the 7 early worship. Irajama exempted. He said that service with Irajama in a year is 13. That's what Papa told me. You will do that for 13 times in a year. But without Irajama, it will be 7 times. I remember Oshoffa made a sermon, the last sermon he made in National Headquarters Makoko. He said, if celestial elders are not following what Papa said, he would not forget one thing. By that time, he was going to Anglican. He was going back to Anglican. He said he has gone to Ijebu now. And all his mates, majority of them were dead, and the remaining were haggard looking. He said, but he looks agile. So they were saying, and so what is the secret of this your agility? And he told them, I do one service every day. This is Oshoffa's last sermon in Makoko. He now told us that I have taught the young Anglican elders, YMCA, Young Christian Association. He said, I have taught them to do that worship every 7 times a day, so that they will look as young as I look. And I remember the youth of Makoko looking at me that day, because we have fought severally. He said, that is not what Papa said. Oshoffa said, and I repeat. He said, I was here in the Mercy Land when Papa taught, and I said, no, that is Oshoffa. And he said, keep quiet. That is not Oshoffa. The 4th one, 7 hourly worship. All lọ́rọ̀ mímọ́ ẹ wólẹ̀ fún yàgọ́là ẹ foríbalẹ̀. And Papa said, if in an occasion where we missed the hour, the prayer of the hour, he said, wherever you are, put your mind at the hour unto God. And then, by the time you return home, in his language, he said, ó ti jẹ gbèsè ẹ̀sìn kan. Bí o bá délé, wàá padà wàá ṣe ẹyọ kan ló jẹ méjì ló jẹ wàá ṣe ọlọ́run kan mímọ́ mímọ́ kan ẹ wólẹ̀ fún kan yàgọ́là kan ẹ foríbalẹ̀ kan ó ti parí ẹyọ kan gbèsè ló jẹ ó wàá ṣe ẹ̀sìn ti wákàtí náà. So it became a line then and I remembered again during the days of Babada we had a chaplain, thank God he's still alive, Shobakin, Super Shobakin now. I told about the things, this worship, and he said no, Babada did not teach him, and the rest. And we were going to make report to Babada, and we saw him in his prayer room at the entrance, at the door like that. We had him saying, oh, Lord, at around the past 12 o'clock, we got the pastor, he was, oh, Lord. And chaplain was shocked, and we waited. He prayed, and he said, Papa did not force it on anybody. He told all of us. So he was not out to force anything. So these are some of the things that goes with this time. The fifth one, Christmas convocation in Imeko 24-25. The fifth step that we must follow, that we must continue in. I know if I say you should recount, most of you would have, and I taught you must learn by order. When you begin to recount, you would have forgotten. You will just juggle it up and count by yourself, or you add your own to it, so that you will make up for the ones you forgot. But I forgot nothing. 24-25 in Imeko. Christmas convocation. Now from the 6th one to the 10th one, here is the thing. This week or this season took out of 10, 5. To show how special and how seriously we must take this season. The 6th one, washing of feet and communion service. You see, I don't want to go to too much explanations. The 7th one, service at Bakoko or the state headquarters or national headquarters in countries at 3 p.m. on Friday, Good Friday service at 3 p.m. I remember that was the year Papa said every states can be having their services, their Good Friday services in their state headquarters. I cannot forget that instruction, because in those days you will see both Baba Shobwale, all these big babas from wherever they have been posted. They would all assemble to Makoko. But this time Papa said they can as well do it in their state headquarters, like I have shown you. So in the nations, the likes of Baba just said about, see, they will do it in their, so there will be convergence. Papa said you can do 9 o'clock in your parishes, You can do 12 o'clock in your parishes. But when it becomes 3 o'clock, you must be at the national headquarters or at the state headquarters. Which one is applicable? Whichever one is applicable. The seventh one, this eighth one, that is the one he called Ẹ̀sìn Àjíǹde ní Itẹ́. The service of resurrection, the resurrection service at the cemetery. I cannot forget we went with him to Aquino Cemetery. That's where he showed us. And in the days of Abada, we were always there. Until this day, we still go there. But the difference in the order is this. In the days of the fathers, or in the days of our father, by 10 we pray. We are on our way. Everybody lighting their candles, and then we move singing solemnly until we assemble in the frontage, in the road, on the frontage of Aquino Cemetery, not on the way, on the Abattoir way, but that same place we normally use now. And then the service began, I would never forget, with the jingling of the bell 3 times. We would not kneel, but we would be standing, saying, "Holy, holy, holy." Psalm 51 will be read. Prayer, it's an order of service prayer. We are not just there to pray, we are making service there. You see it? And in one of Papa's preaching and Babada's preaching, I cannot forget. That was where he made mention of the power of the resurrection. He said, Papa said, I guess it's 84 or 85. He said, Ẹ̀mí àjíǹde ìjọ nípa ẹ̀sìn yìí la fi lé obìnrin lọ́wọ́ kó lè lọ sọ jáde kí àwọn ọmọ ìjọ kó lè di àlàyé nítorí ní celestial nígbà ìtàparí ẹ̀sìn wa a máa ń pè àdúrà ìparí ẹ̀sìn látẹnu àgbà obìnrin. Ẹ̀mí àjíǹde ìjọ nítorí àwọn ọkùnrin lọ sọ àwọn obìnrin lọ sọ́dọ̀ Jésù, àwọn ọkùnrin lọ sá pamọ́. I can't forget that area. Because that was the normal song we sing, and that was what he posted. Jokingly, he was singing his song, Lọ́jọ́ Àjíǹde, Lọ́jọ́ Àjíǹde o. Àwọn obìnrin lọ, wíwẹ̀ sí àwọn ọkùnrin ṣe ìwé pọ̀ sọ pé àwọn ọkùnrin á lọ sá pamọ́. Ìbáṣepọ̀ à ń bẹ̀ ni bàbá bá kọrin náà bẹ̀. So he followed that line. That got stuck into my system. The secret of the women praying the last prayer in the service in the church. He said the angel came, and none of the disciples Jesus has gone out with and told this truth. None of them were available or was available at the sepulchre because they thought, would he rise again? Has it ever happened? Would it become the truth? But the women took courage. He said, although they know the soldiers will not beat them, but the men knew soldiers can beat them. So, you know, Papa in his method, in his ways, he will talk this way and talk this way, so that he will pacify every tension. So everybody began to register and comment and say a lot of things we will say. After this service will continue, the sermon will be held. It's a service with 7 members' prayers. The lessons will be read, the sermon will be held, and it is during the sermon, at the end of the sermon, that we'll be getting towards around 9:45 to 12. And then Papa and Barbara will say, we should begin to pray. From the sermon, we will take what we want to pray for. And we will pray. And by the time it is around that to 12 too, they will pray over our prayers. After their prayers, Gloria. The Lord's Prayer, Gloria, the grace. By the dead of 12, we are chanting 7 hallelujahs to the 4 corners of the world. That will mean the hallelujah session is ended. We are resuming back to the hallelujah session. Are you getting it?
Yeah.
That is the 8th order, the 8th step. The 9th one, the Ascension Day service. Ascension Day service. I want to cut it sharp so that we can read the lesson of today this time and take a little sermon and then we go and pray. Ascension Day service. That was when Jesus would ascend. Papa said they worshipped him, and it was written in the Bible, Luke chapter 24. The last 3 verses told us that
Now it came to pass.
it came to
While
pass
he blessed them, that he was parted from them and carried up into heaven. And they worshipped him and returned to Jerusalem with great joy.
they worshipped. Papa said this service will be done in the mercy land. Ascension service in the mercy land. I can never forget that one. And I remember he said it is always on a Thursday, 40 days after resurrection. And that's why we put the name, we tag Thursday in our spiritual language, Ẹ̀sìn ìgòkèèrè ọ̀run. Thursday becomes ọjọ́ ìgòkèèrè ọ̀run. Like Sunday is ọjọ́ Olúwa tàbí ọjọ́ ológun. Tuesday is ọjọ́ ìṣẹ́gun. That's general. We call Wednesday ọjọ́ àánú. Thursday, ọjọ́ ìgòkèrè ọ̀run. Friday, ọjọ́ agbára. There was a debate at the time when people said ọjọ́ agbára kékeré, ọjọ́ agbára ńlá. Papa said èwo ni kékeré èwo ni ńlá. Ọlọ́run ló lágbára. Ọjọ́ ìgòkèrè ọ̀run Thursday, ọjọ́ agbára Friday, ọjọ́ Olúwa nítorí òun ni ọjọ́ àjíǹde tàbí ọjọ́ ológo, that is Sunday. And the last of them, the 10th step, is the Pentecost service. Pentecost. The day of Pentecost, they were assembled. And the beauty of, you see, this season, the season of Christ, the workings of Christ, the main mission for which he came, took 5 out of 10. Washing of feet is about him and his own. Good Friday is about him doing his work. Resurrection is about him and his own. Ascension is about him and his own. Pentecost is about his own being manifested. So this is a way of reminding or bringing us to remembrance of what our Father gave to us and what he was given by the one that sent him. Those were his last days. I cannot forget that the Bible quiz for that year. I remember Papa sat and told us, children, will you continue this quiz? I want to travel, but I will come back. But will you promise me you will continue? We screamed, we will continue. We all shouted. Say because I might not be in for some time, but I'm sure I will soon come. Because the quiz was named SBG Oshoffa Cup. The quiz was named after him. We only have one trophy. That was the trophy for the quiz. This was 1985, exact. He told us, will you be here coming for the quiz? We said yes, all of us. We never could reconcile that he was going away. That was after this 10 steps, Good Friday, April. Our quiz was normally the last Saturday of May. What he said in the Mercyland Good Friday, it would have been beautiful for me if there was no burning of the house, because I had video clips. But everything went away. But I know one day we would lay our hands on one thing, one of these video clips, somewhere, somehow, someday. And the truth will be evident to all. He prayed and wished us well, but we never knew what was going finally. But he would always say, like he said, ẹgbẹ̀rún ọdún sígbà táwa yìí, a ó jọ máa ṣe. And I believe if I have said what he said and the way he said it, he is only out to witness to his truth. If I have given it the way he gave it, the power that walked with him then at the resurrection of Christ will walk with us today.
Amen.
He will walk in our lives today.
Amen.
He will walk for us henceforth.
Amen.
He will stand for us everywhere.
Amen.
The grace of the remembrance. You see, when it was time for Joshua, he called for remembrance. When it was time, there is always a call for remembrance. I know there is a time. There's something about this time. That which God has proposed for this time, I pray before our very eyes in our days, God will establish it.
Amen.
What is the lesson of today? What's the lesson?
John chapter 20.
John chapter 20,
Verse 1 to 2.
1 to 10. Let's read. So we talk a little.
Hallelujah. 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 Our lesson shall be taken from the book of John, chapter 20, from verse 1 to verse 10. John 20, 1 to 10. I read. Now, on the first day of the week, Mary Magdalene went to the tomb early, while it was still dark, and saw that the stone had been taken away from the tomb. Then she ran and came to Simon and to the other disciples who Jesus loved, and said to them, "They have taken away the Lord out of the tomb, and we do not know where they have laid him." Peter therefore went out, and the other disciples, and were going to the tomb. So they both ran together, and the other disciple outran Peter and came to the tomb first. And he, stooping down and looking in, saw the linen clothes lying there, yet he did not go in. Then Simon Peter came, following him, and went into the tomb. And he saw the linen clothes lying there, and the handkerchief that had been around his head, not lying with the linen clothes, but folded together in a bed by itself. Then the other disciple, who came to the tomb first, went in also, and he saw and believed. For as yet they did not know the scripture, that he must rise again from the dead. Verse 10, the last verse. Then the disciples went away again to their own homes. This ends the reading of John 20.
Jehovah. Jésù Kristo. Olúwa ìkẹ́. Ìmọ́lẹ̀ òtítọ́ fún wa. Kí ẹ̀rí ìwé kó lè yé wa. Ká lè yè nípa ìfẹ́ rẹ̀. Lórúkọ Jésù náà. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
A beautiful mystery here. So you see, before the mystery is placed to fall, there were dramas. The woman got to the sepulchre early when it was still dark. Hence, we go. Because I remember, before I forget, in Papa Stone, then in Matthew 28, He said, the angel said, come and see. Matthew 28.
He is not here, for he is risen.
You are in verse 3, 4.
His countenance was like lightning.
Where are you?
Verse 3. And his clothing as white as snow.
Yes.
And the guards shook for fear of him.
Yes.
And became like dead men.
Uh-huh.
But the angel answered and said to the woman,
The angel answered and said to the woman,
do not be afraid,
be not afraid.
for I know that you seek Jesus,
I know that you see Jesus
who was crucified.
crucified.
He is not here,
He is not here.
for he is risen.
He is risen.
And he said,
And
he said, come,
come.
see the place where the Lord lay.
He said that Papa said the instruction was come. See. Kò sí níhìn nítorí tó ti jíǹde gẹ́gẹ́ bó ti wí. For he has risen as he said. You see, the woman, John, in John's report, the woman came. Unlike the report of Matthew, about 3-4 women came. In the report of John, Mary Magdalene, the one that owns Emi Koni Juwo Sile, because she was the woman out of whom the demon was cast out. The woman that should be stoned. The adulterous woman. That every hand raised stones against. And by the judgment of Jesus was discharged and acquitted. And she thought in herself, I would not leave you because you gave me life. Were it not for you, by the stones of men, I would have been gone. What a woman. She continued with Jesus, even in death and after death. She came. She saw the stone rolled away, but she did not enter. And she came to, if we would bring the news together, this is just account. She went to John and the disciples to report. The rest of the women, they went home. Did you see it? Because they all got to the sepulchre. They saw the angels. The angel, sorry. They received the word of the angel. And he sent them, because Matthew 28, the angel sent them. He said, go.
And go quickly.
Go quickly.
And tell his disciples.
Tell his disciples.
That he is risen from the dead.
That he is risen
from the dead.
From the dead.
And indeed.
And
indeed. He is going before you to that.
But the remaining of the women went home because they already saw Jesus. That's not the story in John. Now, Mary went and told the disciples, they have taken the Lord away. I don't know where they laid him. The only people who can take the body away will be his disciples. And when they had that one, they said, to where? So 2 people went. Peter the denying friend of Jesus. And John, the one Jesus loved. And then came to love Jesus. John, the one Jesus loved. In the mystery here, is a man of order. He was a man that understands order. He understands because Jesus loved me. That does not overrule the fact that I have somebody ahead. You see, some of us are careful and are careless. Because I am loved, I can suppress and oppress and step on everyone I found ahead. Look at the beautiful order here. John, the one that Jesus loved, understood because he was taught by the man that had orders. He chose to follow the orders. He outran Peter. Peter will be like me. He cannot run. Ṣé mo bá pè jáde? He was a fisherman. He cannot run very well. And the next disciple outran him. And he got to the sepulchre first. He could not jump in. He waited. This is the place of the order. He waited until Peter came. And Peter went in and saw, read for me.
And stooping down and looking in.
From verse 4.
So they both ran together.
Yes.
And the other disciple outran Peter.
Yes.
And came to the tomb first.
Yes.
And he, stooping down and looking in,
yes,
saw the linen clothes lying there.
Yes.
Yet he did not go in.
He did not go in.
Then Simon Peter came.
Peter came.
Following him. And went into the tomb.
Peter went in.
And he saw the linen clothes lying there.
Now listen, we are getting to the mystery now. He saw the linen clothes lying.
And the handkerchief that had been around his head.
And he saw the handkerchief around the head. Not being with the lining clothes.
But folded together in a place by itself.
Look at the beauty. But folded together in a place by itself.
Then the other disciple, who came to the tomb first, went in also.
Then the other disciples that came to the tomb first went in as well.
And he saw and believed.
Wait. And he saw and believed. What did he say? To every sign. Exodus chapter 7 from verse 8. To every sign, there is a voice.
Then the Lord spoke to Moses and
Yes.
Aaron, saying, when Pharaoh speaks to you, saying, show a miracle for yourselves, then you shall say to Aaron, take your rod and cast it before Pharaoh, and let it become a serpent. So Moses and Aaron went into Pharaoh, and they did so, just as the Lord commanded.
Yes.
And Aaron cast down his rod before Pharaoh and before his servants.
That was what Pharaoh said, if Pharaoh said, give us a sign, that is what you should do. Now go to chapter 4, from verse 8.
Then it will be,
It will be,
if they not believe you, nor heed the message of the first sign.
heed the message. Who has another version?
And it shall come to pass,
It shall come to pass,
if they will not believe,
if they will not believe you,
neither hearken to the voice of the first sign,
nor hearken to the voice of the first sign,
that they will believe the voice of the later
they
sign.
will believe the voice
Of the later
of
sign.
the later sign. He came and saw the sign and believed. There was a voice. This was the cloth in which the Lord was wrapped. And this was the handkerchief that was placed on his head. You remember the days of Lazarus? John chapter 11. From verse 43.
Now, when he had said this, he cried out with a loud voice,
Yes.
Lazarus, come forth.
Mm-hmm.
And he who had died came out bound, hand and foot,
The one that was dead came out bound, hand and foot,
with grave clothes,
with grave clothes,
and his face was wrapped with a cloth.
and his face was wrapped.
With a cloth.
Any other version?
With a napkin.
Uh-huh.
Jesus said to them,
Jesus said,
Loose him and let him
loose him and let him go. But here is the thing. They came to the sepulchre and saw the clothes. Give me again.
Now, and the handkerchief had been
They
lying.
saw the clothes.
Then Simon Peter came, following him, and went into the tomb.
Yes.
And he saw the linen clothes lying there,
Lying. And
and the handkerchief that had been around his head, not lying with the linen
it
clothes,
was not with the clothes.
but folded together in a place by itself.
John saw the sign, the folding of the handkerchief, and the lying of the garment of the cloth. The cloth was showing this one was loosed. This person cannot be helped. Peter said because he saw, he said in Acts of Apostles chapter 2. Verse 23-24.
Him, being delivered by the determined purpose and foreknowledge of God,
Yes,
you have been taken by lawless hands,
yes.
have crucified
You
and,
crucified him,
and put to death,
you put him to death.
whom God raised up,
God raised him up.
having loosed the pains of death.
He was loosed. You know, he commanded that Lazarus be loosed so that he could go. But this one can't. Read on.
Because it was not possible that he could be held.
The power of death. You see, the cloth lying there. When there is a dead person, let's come to forensic evidence now. When a dead person lies, the way you see the garments, you will know whether he was strangulated, or whether he was rough handled, or whether he just fell and died. No gunshot on him. Are you listening?
Yes.
Peter saw. This was what Peter was interpreting here. He saw he was loosed. There was a power that came. Matthew chapter 28 again. The power of the heavens. From verse 1.
Now, after the Sabbath, as the first day of the week
Yes.
began to dawn,
Yes.
Mary Magdalene and the other Mary came to see the tomb.
Uh-huh.
And behold, there was a great earthquake,
Earthquake.
for an angel of the Lord descended from
The
heaven
heavens visited the earth.
and came and rolled back the stone from the door and sat on it.
The stone that was rolled on the door of the sepulchre of Lazarus, men had to roll it away. But the stone at the entrance of resurrection, the heavens came to roll it away. Today, every stone at the entrance of any fulfillment of God's word for your life, by the power that worked in the resurrection of Jesus, they shall be rolled away.
Amen.
The angel came and rolled away the stone. Yes,
And sat on it.
he sat, the heavens sitting. That will mean never again can that entrance be blocked. He was a seal that can never be blocked. It remains eternally open. Because there was a key that opens and no man. Men can reshut the entrance of the door of the sepulchre of Lazarus. Men, no man can reshut the entrance of the door of resurrection. No man. I pray again that door that will grant you every fulfillment needed in every facet of your life. As resurrection comes, and the door of resurrection was opened from heaven, that door shall be opened, and no force of man shall be able to close it.
Amen.
Peter saw and bore record hereafter, saying it was impossible. He was one of the people that saw. He saw it did not. You know, if they have maybe they came to strangulate a bit to refold him, or he would have seen, it would be demonstrated in that garment. Yes. He saw this person of his own will got out of this thing. The handkerchief folded. He's saying another thing by himself. I am here again. I am alive again. I am reappearing again. The folding of the handkerchief was interpreting, was sending a signal, a message, a voice. I am loosed. It was not possible for this one to hold me. And I am here again. You see the two?
Yes.
And the disciple came and saw. The Bible said, and he believed. If they did, by that interpretation, what did they do? The next verse.
For as yet did not know what the. For as yet.
John.
Yes.
Yes?
Then the other disciple who came to the tomb first went in also.
Yes?
And he saw and believed.
Yes?
For as yet they did not know the scripture, that he must rise again from the dead.
You see it? Uh-huh.
Then the disciples went away again to their own.
They went again. The Bible did not say they went troubled. You know, if something has happened to the body, there will be troubling.
Yes.
their heart will not be at rest. Their mind will be, let us search again. Let us ask. Let us. But they got relaxed. Oh, this guy rose up. He was free. And he said he's here again. He's coming again. We will see him again. I believe. Let us go back home. What a beautiful session. It was impossible. Everything that held you back, that held your life, held the promise of your life, held the covenants of your life, everything that has held you, that became an anchor on the ship of your life, that will not let you go, that will not set you free. Beginning from Passover, Egypt sent Israel off. There could not be an anchor to hold them back. At resurrection, death could not hold Jesus back. Because of the remembrance of this resurrection, every power of death and hell, of the evil one, of the strange one, that has held us back up until now, this day shall let us loose.
Amen.
From every point of pain, of infirmity, of diseases, of infliction or affliction, this day you shall be released.
Amen. In Jesus' name.
Into the newness of favor.
Amen.
Into the newness of his life.
Amen.
Into the newness of his grace.
Amen.
Into the newness of his abundance.
Amen. In Jesus' name.
The ability of God will continue to go with us.
Amen.
The word is true. The disciples saw and believed. And the working of the power of resurrection, that which you will see and believe, that of a truth is alive, will be given to you.
Amen.
Will be manifesting in our lives. Henceforth, the turning again of our lives for a new appearing, because he said, I am here again. I'm appearing again. The same person who appeared never appeared naked. At the manifestation of our life, he would appear in glory.
Amen.
Wherever the power of the evil one has made us cry, in whatever aspect, that they even expect us to cry again, at the reappearing, at this reappearing, we shall glory over them.
Amen.
They shall cry in our stead.
Amen.
Everyone that opposes the truth of God for your life shall, for your sake, cry for you.
Amen.
They will cry on our behalf.
Amen.
We will never cry.
Amen.
We will grow in grace.
Amen.
We will enter into glory.
Amen.
The power of God that worked in resurrection and put Jesus in his place will establish us in our place.
Amen.
Every strange ideology that has displaced us will be thrown down.
Amen.
Wherever we are displaced, we shall be reestablished.
Amen.
And not that alone. In resurrection, he came without deformation.
Yes.
Every form of deformation in our lives, by diseases, by ailment, by infirmity, by the powers of the evil one, by the poisonous venom of the serpent, by the effects of the workings of the scorpions, Because he said, I gave you power to tread upon serpents and scorpions, and over the powers of the evil one. He said, nothing shall by any means hurt you. I decree this time. Because he came out free of any deformation. By the same token, whatever deformation that just existed in our lives shall be reformed.
Amen.
In the morning of resurrection, every form of deformation would have been done away with.
Amen.
A reformation would appear.
Amen.
As he came, not in nakedness, but in garment of glory.
Yes.
Every garment of shame that has been worn in our lives, on our body, spiritual, natural, physical, by the working of each of God this night, I pray they shall be burnt off.
Amen. In Jesus' name.
The one that gave Jesus the garment of glory will give unto us our new garment of glory.
Amen.
So that amongst men we shall be seen for glory.
Amen.
So shall it be.
Amen.
We are here this time. By this time next year, in greater glory,
Amen.
in greater grace,
Amen.
in greater favor,
Amen.
in greater rejoicing and happiness,
Amen.
we shall be manifested.
Amen.
So shall it be.
Amen.
In Jesus' name we pray.
Amen. Amen. Amen.
Like it was said, I won't put this was the way the fathers would do it after sermon. And then we would all be asked to pray. But at your praying, you will light your candle first. That is the order. Amen. 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 Lórúkọ Jésù. Jehovah. Jésù Kristi. Holy Michael. Bàbá arọ́nibániṣe abániṣe máa ń padà lẹ́yìn rẹ̀. Ìrẹ́ tó fi ìṣògo àjíǹde hàn ní ìyanu májẹ̀mú láti fìdí ọ̀rọ̀ rẹ̀ múlẹ̀ wípé bó ti sọ bẹ́ẹ̀ náà ni ó rí. Òrèrè gbogbo tí ọwọ́ rẹ̀ kọ tí ẹnu ẹ sọ jáde ní tiwa. Ní ìrántí gẹ́gẹ́ bí ó ti là á kalẹ̀ fún bílẹ̀ wọ̀ṣọ́. A ti ṣe lónìí. Bá wa pé.
Àmín lórúkọ Jésù Kristi.
Ṣe iṣẹ́ ayé wa pé.
Àmín lórúkọ Jésù Kristi.
Mú ọ̀rọ̀ ayé wa wá sí ìrántí.
Àmín lórúkọ Jésù Kristi.
Fìdí òdodo ìfẹ́ rẹ̀ múlẹ̀.
Àmín lórúkọ Jésù Kristi.
Gba ìjọ mímọ́ là.
Àmín lórúkọ Jésù Kristi.
Gba ayé là pátápátá.
Àmín lórúkọ Jésù Kristi.
Fòpin sí àjàkálẹ̀ àrùn.
Àmín lórúkọ Jésù Kristi.
Ẹ̀rí orúkọ rẹ fún ìṣògo jẹ́ kó di mímọ̀
Àmín lórúkọ Jésù Kristi.
Lónìí ló fi hàn kó tóbi ju gbogbo wọn lọ. Lónìí ló fi hàn wípé ipá juni lọ já sásán. Lónìí ló fi hàn wípé ikú kò lóró. Isà òkú kò dín ìṣẹ́gun. Ìrẹ́ tó sọjí nínú agbára ìyè. Ìrẹ́ tó sọjí tí gbogbo agbára yé ń ṣubú níwájú rẹ̀. Ìrẹ́ tó sọjí tí àwọn olùṣọ́ búburú dàbí òkú. Ǹjẹ́ gbogbo ipá tó ti dè wá mọ́lẹ̀ rí? Ó ṣe é ní Íjíbítì. Ó sọ gbogbo Íjíbítì dàbí òkú. Ó ṣe é ní àjíǹde. Ó sọ gbogbo àgbáyé dàbí òkú. Lónìí, fún ìfihàn ẹ̀rí rẹ̀, gbogbo agbára tó lè máa hùwà ibi, tó lè máa pète ibi, tó lè máa fẹ́ látàbí fẹ̀dẹ̀, wípé ohun tóun bá pinnu ni ó dúró lórí ayé wa tàbí lórí ilé wa, ìbá ṣe nípa ti ẹ̀jẹ̀, nípa ti tàbí ẹ̀mí. Níbo ni agbára náà ti ń ṣògo? Ìrẹ́ tó wọ inú ikú láti gba àwọn ọmọ lórúkọ Jésù láti ìpìlẹ̀ bí agbára náà ṣe.
Àmín lórúkọ Jésù Kristi.
Ohunkóhun yòówù kó gbà wọ́n dúró, ìwọ ló dá ohun gbogbo. Látòní lọ jẹ́ kó yẹ̀ wọ́n sí.
Àmín lórúkọ Jésù Kristi.
Bí ọwọ́ ọ̀tún ẹ̀ kó gba àwọn kan.
Àmín lórúkọ Jésù.
Ká lè máa yọ̀ ní ìfẹ́.
Àmín lórúkọ Jésù.
Fàṣẹ sí.
Àmín
lórúkọ Jésù Kristi lọ.
Àmín, àmín, àmín lórúkọ Jésù.
Àdúrà tí Olúwa.
Bàbá wa ti bẹ̀ jẹ́ kí a bọ̀ fún orúkọ rẹ̀, ìjọba rẹ̀ dé, ìfẹ́ rẹ̀ ká ṣe ní ayé, wọ́n ti ṣe ní ọ̀run, fún wa lójoojúmọ́ wa lónìí, dárí ẹ̀ṣẹ̀ wa jì wá, bí a ti dá ìdáhùn tó ṣẹ̀ wá, máa fà wá sí ìwé, ìjọba lọ́wọ́ sí sí, orí ìjọba ní tirẹ̀, agbára ní tirẹ̀, ògo ní tirẹ̀, láíláí àmín.
Gloria.
Bàbá tí fún ọmọ àti fún ẹni mímọ́.
Ògo ni fún Baba àti fún Ọmọ àti fún Ẹ̀mí Mímọ́. Bí ó ti wà láti kọ́ṣe, ó gbé ní sí, bẹ́ẹ̀ ni ó sì máa rí ní ìgbà gbogbo, ayé àìnípẹ̀kun.
Jẹ́ kí wọ́n fẹ́ Jésù Kristu lọ́wọ́. Ìfẹ́ mọ́ tọ́
Mímọ́.
lọ́wọ́. Dàpọ̀ tẹ̀mí.
Mímọ́.
Ó ṣe wá yẹ.
Àmín lórúkọ Jésù Kristi.
Ó ṣe wá ní àlàyé.
Àmín lórúkọ Jésù
Ó
Kristi.
tún wá jí.
Àmín lórúkọ Jésù
Ó
Kristi.
tún wá gbé dìde.
Àmín lórúkọ Jésù
Ó mú
Kristi.
ìfẹ́ dúró lórí ayé.
Àmín lórúkọ Jésù
Ó
Kristi.
ṣe wá ní títọ́.
Àmín lórúkọ Jésù.
Níbi gbogbo tí ayé wa ti dògbó láti irun orí bí àtẹlẹsẹ̀ kó mú ìmú ìlera titun wá fún
Àmín lórúkọ Jésù.
Kádi aláyọ̀ ní ìtòsí.
Àmín lórúkọ Jésù.
Kí ayọ̀ àjíǹde lábẹ́ orí ọ̀fẹ́ kó máa bá wa.
Àmín lórúkọ Jésù.
Ká ṣe ìkáṣàbò.
Àmín lórúkọ Jésù.
Láì àfìgbálẹ̀.
Àmín, àmín, àmín lórúkọ Jésù.
Àdìgbò. A máa ń kí àlejò méje sí gbọ́ àgbáyé. A tún máa ń sọ ọdún orin náà. Bàbá náà ló sọ ọdún orin fún wa.
Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah,
Hallelujah.
hallelujah, 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 hallelujah,
Hallelujah.
hallelujah, 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 hallelujah,
Hallelujah.
Oh.
Ayọ̀ àjíǹde á jẹ́ fún wa.
Àmín lórúkọ Jésù Kristi.
Bàtà bá ti kọ́ tán, àwọn bàbá wọn wá ń súre fún wa. Jehovah
Mímọ́,
Jésù Kristi
mímọ́,
Michael mímọ́.
mímọ́,
Ní ìmọ́lẹ̀ àjíǹde rẹ̀ yìí, ìrẹ́ tó fi ayọ̀ kún ọkàn àwọn obìnrin náà ní ìpadà sílé tó mú ẹ̀rù gbogbo tán. Jẹ́ kí ẹ̀rù ayé àwọn ọmọ rẹ̀ kó wọlé.
àmín lórúkọ Jésù Kristi.
Ohunkóhun gbogbo tó ń bọ̀ wọ́n lẹ́rù ní ìfojúsọ́nà. Ó pàdé àwọn obìnrin náà. Òun ẹ̀rù kúrò kí wọ́n lè fi ayọ̀ padà sí ilé wọn. Pàdé wọn lónìí kó dá ayọ̀ wọn padà.
Àmín lórúkọ Jésù Kristi.
Já èrò wọn.
Àmín lórúkọ Jésù Kristi.
Fa èrò rú.
Àmín lórúkọ Jésù Kristi.
O ti fọ́ orí irúgbìn èṣù. Ká lè wà láàyè sí ipa ìfẹ́ rẹ láíláí. Jẹ́ kí ìwà láàyè mú ìṣògo báyìí.
Àmín lórúkọ Jésù Kristi.
Orúkọ rẹ fún ìṣògo jẹ́ kó dìímọ̀
Àmín lórúkọ Jésù.
Fàṣẹ sí.
Àmín lórúkọ
Ká máa yọ̀ ní
Àmín lórúkọ
ìfẹ́ láì
Jésù.
àti láíláí.
Àmín.
Jẹ́ kó fẹ́ bàbá àṣẹ tọmọ tẹ̀mí mímọ́
Mímọ́.
kó bà lé wa.
Àmín lórúkọ Jésù.
Kó súre fún wa.
Àmín lórúkọ Jésù.
Kó máa bá wa lọ.
Àmín lórúkọ Jésù Kristi.
Ayọ̀ ìhérè àlàáfíà tarí gbà lónìí kó má tàn nínú.
Àmín lórúkọ Jésù.
Bá wa ṣe Ọlọ́run.
Àmín lórúkọ
Kí àlàáfíà jíǹde pa wá.
Àmín lórúkọ
Lórúkọ Jésù Kristi lọ́wọ́.
Àmín, àmín, àmín lórúkọ Jésù.
Méje.
Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah.